Okay everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel today. We're back on Assetto Corsa. Obviously our T500 is still not working on GT Sport with the current update 1.15, so we're back on Assetto Corsa to get a setup done. I thought I'd go to a track that I really enjoy doing, the Redbull Ring, and get a setup for a car that I've not done on the PC yet on the Redbull Ring, the Lamborghini Huracan GT3. I kind of wish I still had the PS4 version to go back and do a setup for the PS4 version now, because now I understand this car a little bit more after doing Monza. I was able to get this car a lot more competitive here. The lap wasn't perfect going into turn 2 there. We slightly got a little bit of we had a sharp angle into the corner, lost a bit of exit speed on the traction. But so there was probably a tenth or two, at least 2 attempts I'd say, to come off this lap over the whole lap. But I'm really happy with the setup, how it handles, how it drives, pretty much everything about the car. It drove really nice. It's got a good top speed. It's got good handling through the fast corners. Everything that you pretty much want from the Redbull Ring. So I'm gonna try and do another setup, a few setups on Assetto Corsa. Obviously, I was gonna just stick to Laguna Seca, but it's a track where I have to be in the mood to drive, and when I had the chance to go on yesterday, I decided I was really in the mood to go to the Redbull Ring and push the Lamborghini around the track. I want to see what I can get out of it. I think we got a similar type of lap, a 28.6 or 5 with the new Audi R8, so I thought this car should be able to get a fairly similar time if you're pushing it. And we actually only spent a little bit of time doing the setup, and then I think about half an hour pushing the lap, and we got the lap really fast. So there's a lot more potential with this lap, with this setup. So what we'll do is we're going to go through a track guide, and then I'm going to go through the setup that we use and the changes that I made. So starting the lap, going through turn 1, obviously try and give yourself a nice clean entry and exit from that corner, and maximise the speed all the way down into turn 1. And you're going to look out for the 100 board on the left hand side, braking a little bit short of the 100 board, and then going down to 3rd gear. You can see there just before it, down into 3rd gear, try and skim that apex, that curve, and get on the power as early as you can. We ran a little bit wide there, but that's, you want to use as much of that curve as you can really. And working your way up the hill now, all the way to the top of the next braking zone, braking a little bit short of the 100 again. We braked a little bit late here, you're going to see we braking a fraction too late, downshifting it into 1st gear, and we had to really turn and get on the brakes. You can see there it was all a little bit messy, wasn't as clean as I should have done it, and you can see the Ghost actually start pulling away from the exit speed on my previous lap there, and that was only a 28.9. That started to pull away a bit there. So braking just before the 100 for the next corner, down into 2nd gear, and then try and get nice and tight on that curb and get on the power as early as you can. You can see that's where we made up a bit of time, working our way into the fast left hander now, looking for that 50 board on your right hand side, down into 3rd gear. Just be very patient before you put the throttle down. You can see I wanted to put it down a little squirt and then full power into 4th gear, then back down to 3rd gear for this left hander. We could have carried more speed through this corner. I was a little bit cautious. I should have really pushed a little bit harder through there and gained a little bit more time. So there's probably another 10th there, and at least a 10th on that corner we made the error on. So down into 4th gear for this really fast right hander, and then briefly we just squeezed it back down to 3rd gear to get a bit more revs out of the car, then back down to 3rd gear for the final corner, clip the curb on the right hand side, working your way all the way for the track there, use into 4th gear, and then we're heading our way to the start finishing line, and we go over on a 1 minute 28.6 622, which is a nice lap. But like I say, I think we could have got a 28.3 to 4, which would have only been a couple attempts off the world record on the RSR leaderboard. So it's obviously a good setup, considering that I only spent half an hour pushing this setup. So the setup, we took the base off of Monza setup and then adjusted it, because I knew the Monza was very nice. So we adjusted the gearing from the Monza setup, obviously, because it needed some changes to make the setup work at this track. Tyre pressures also, I think, are slightly adjusted from the setup. Obviously, the front right needs to be higher, because it tends to stay very cold, that front right tyre, so you need to build them pressures up a little bit for that front right. They will go a little bit warmer during them 2 fast left-handers, but the rest of the track is pretty much right-hand corner, so that's why that front right is a little bit higher. The ABS on level 3 and the traction control level 7. You can run the traction control on level 8, but I preferred it on 7. 1.3 for the aero, feels really comfortable. Good setting for the race also, and you can see we messed around with the cambers and stuff and got them. I think there's actually a false reading when you see the camber angles on the screen there, where it says higher camber angles in the front. That's obviously once everything's warmed up on the car. I think it's the way it's done. It's when I've obviously set the cambers, and when it did before I went out on the track, it wasn't showing it like that. But this is what it was like after. So I'm not sure if that's just a bit of a false reading on there, so just take down them the left hand side values. Obviously, don't worry about what it says on the right hand side. The left hand side is important. And obviously we also made sure that the toe angle was a little bit out on the rear as well to provide a bit of support. I did find with him a little bit lower, it was starting to kick out on the first corner, so that's why we made the adjustments to that from the Monza setup. We also reduced some of the bump on the suspension on the dampers, because I think we had it slightly higher on the rear on the setup for Monza, but I just lowered it down on the rear for this track and it seems to have helped out a bit. And also the fast bump I think we adjusted from the Monza setup. We also upped the rebounds to 10-10 all round. They were on 9-9 for Monza, 10-10 for this track, because I wanted a bit more support through the real fast corners, them two fast left hand corners, a bit more support on the rear. And we also upped the differential on the coast to 70%, because going through turn 1 again, it was starting to get a little bit loose that rear. That just settles it down, makes the car more comfortable to drive, and a lot easier when coming off the throttle, chucking the car in for them two fast left-handers. I wanted to be able to chuck it in and just lift off and let it coast for a bit, and if that was too low, it tended to slide out the rear end, but with it on 70, it kept the car nice and stable. Settings there identical to Monza. I didn't change any of these settings from Monza. This settings we did alter very slightly on the ride height, and also the anti-roll bars we upped by 1 on each, the front and the rear, and we upped the front suspension to 140, so it's actually a little bit stiffer on the front to the rear for this track. It just seemed to help out quite a bit in terms of creating a more stable car going through some of them corners. With regards to the travel range, I didn't adjust that from Monza. I didn't feel I needed to. The car felt nice with these settings, and once I got the car nice, I just set about setting a lap time that was representative of the setup, which I think we've done. There was more potential in the setup, as you could clearly see with the errors coming out of turn 2. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this setup. I hope it helps you out. If you want to see more of these setups, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, and obviously subscribe and click the notification button so you don't miss out on any future videos. We're going to be trying to do a few of these setups. Obviously we're not pushing these as much at the moment, but once the new game comes out, hopefully in a few months, we're going to be able to Assetto Corsa a lot more on the competition, the new game, which I cannot wait for. It's going to be pretty much up there with, I'm going to pretty much be pushing 3 games on my channel then, so I'm going to be asking a lot from myself, but I think we're going to be pushing Assetto Corsa competition, Project Cars 2 and GT Sport. Hopefully trying to get at least a video out on probably GT Sport every day, and then 1 every 2 days, swapping it between Project Cars 2 and the Assetto Corsa. So we're going to be hopefully doing 2 videos every day come September-ish, something like that. We're going to have more time to do videos, so that's the reason it's going to happen. I'm going to be able to start pushing the channel a lot harder, so there's going to be a lot more content for Assetto Corsa coming soon. Anyway guys, thanks again for watching. Like I say, sub the channel if you want to see more of these videos, and give it a thumbs up. Thanks again for watching everyone.